Well, now, this will make my third attempt at this video because every time I record it, it ends up turning the video sideways, and I either can't figure out how to turn it using editing. It seems video editing becomes a bit more complicated than photo editing, which makes sense. So, that said, this may end up shorter than the last two attempts, but you'd never know that had I not mentioned it. This reading concerns the month of November. We can choose to look at it in a weekly reading, or as I prefer, sort of an overall theme, intertwined theme for the month. Because we end the month with the major arcana, which have a bit more weight, I'd like to start there because I don't often think of these as giving us as much choice about what will happen. We'll have to figure out how we deal with what will happen. So I'll start with the Hermit, who often does not look like the most positive image. Very lonely figure. And in my understanding of tarot, the 9 also relates to what may feel like chaos, critical change, maybe even catastrophe. A lot of that has to do with how we react to it, though. We might lose a job. We can choose to view that as a catastrophe, or we can choose to look at it as an opportunity. And that applies to a lot of other things, perhaps unexpected family issues, unexpected family expansions, depression, things that we would often consider problematic that we could maybe find a use for. But one way or another, we'll face some change, and we need to prepare for that. We also see the Star, which I associate with becoming more purpose-driven in our pursuits. You'll notice her gazing at her star, sort of like a North Star in the sky, as she works to transform and become what she wants and or needs to become. We again may not have as much choice about getting put into a position where we need to consider our enthusiastic pursuits and interests as something a bit more vital and necessary. So, how do we prepare for that? How do we prepare for these transitions that the major arcana represent, these archetypal experiences that interact with us throughout our lives? We'll turn our attention now to the minor arcana, which specifies specific spheres of life. We'll notice we have 2 of them. I'd suggest giving attention to these, especially as we brace ourselves for the other elements. Most of you, if not familiar with outright Hermetic philosophy, will have some familiarity with the phrase, as above, so below. As below, so above. The Hermetic idea of correspondence. We often forget about the other half of that phrase, as within, so without, and then as without, so within, of course. I'd like to emphasize the first part of that, because we may want to affect and control the major things in life, maybe even avoiding them altogether. We don't have the option most of the time to do that. So what do we have control over? The individual spheres of our lives, our thinking, our relationships, or how we handle them. What we do on the inside can act to have a ripple effect and impact the larger things. As one magician has emphasized, the greatest magic transforms the magician. So, we can look at two areas right now that will apparently have an effect on the latter part of this reading. The intellect. Now, the Queen, my understanding of tarot, represents a potential transition between enthusiastic, interested pursuits and purpose-driven, experienced ones. I don't know exactly what sphere that means for you, what specific things that encompasses, but I do know we don't have as much option between whether to go back to that more fun or moving forward to that more purpose-driven, meaningful pursuit or version of that pursuit. So the choice we really can make has to do with getting up off of our comfy seat and moving in the direction. We've got some foresight, we've got some foreknowledge. So we need to take advantage of that and begin preparing ourselves. Now, a lot of times we'll want to just sit and wait until the right time gets here, or until we know enough, or until we feel comfortable. And I will tell you that will never happen by itself. The right time will never come. You have what you need to have now to get up and start moving. You don't probably have everything you'll need to finish the task or the journey. Part of the journey involves picking those things up along the way. Don't wait until the right time or you'll never get up. Start using what you have now and things will move along as they should. Another area that we can look at specifically has to do with the cups, relationships, self-reflection, spirituality. I like to start with the self because, again, we can control more of that than we can anything else. Use the cups as a reflective device. Look at your strengths, look at your weaknesses, look at your ambitions, look at your things and people in particular, in this case, that will help you to move in the desired direction. Also figure out who and what holds you back. Can you use those relationships as further means of progress? If so, how can you enhance that? If not, how can you free yourself from, frankly, the burden or burdens that such things and people cause? Progress often involves discomfort, and that can become especially true when it involves our interactions with other people. Only you can make those decisions, not only identifying those, but deciding how to handle them. And perhaps further readings would give insight into how to handle those things, or whether a particular relationship or interaction serves as a catalyst for good change or a hindrance. And you can always contact me for one of those. We'll certainly have additional readings during the month. Some of them may enhance what we've already discussed. Make sure to come back regularly. Make sure to subscribe. I've been busy with some travel over the last couple months, and so The videos have been sparse. That should change now. These should become more regular. But make sure to subscribe so you get notifications when new things do post, and we'll keep working at this together. Reflect on this throughout the month, and we'll see you next time.